for a second and said, what am I going to do on here? And instantly I said, it's time to do an Aileen Wuornos video. So that's what you're going to see on this video. Let's get started. Between 1989 and 1990, Aileen Carol Wuornos killed 7 men along Florida's highways using a .22 caliber pistol. She was born in Troy, Michigan on February 29th, 1956.
Hello, we are here with another Aileen Wuornos episode. So, the first thing we want to do is disclaimer. We're going to talk about things of a sexual nature and of a murdery nature. So, if you don't want to hear that or don't want your kids to hear that, here's your heads up. So, this was an interesting one.
It was most definitely.
Yeah, we watched, it's called, and it's on YouTube. It's called Sleeping in Serial Killer's Haunted Motel Room, Aileen Wuornos documentary. So this is a paranormal episode, and when I was looking for something paranormal, neither one of us could really find anything, and then I saw it was a thumbnail of a Ouija board being done in a motel room. And I got so excited and I was like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what I found. And I sent it and Amy was excited. And for a few days, I was so excited to watch this because I always try to watch things the night before just so that they're fresh in my memory. And so for the last couple of days, I've been excited to watch this YouTube video. It's not long, it's like 45 minutes. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we'll get to the ratings at the end. It was interesting.
It was, and I was thinking there is absolutely no way we're going to find anything paranormal. So, I mean, to even find this, I'm glad we did.
Right. It's just so because of the screenshot that I saw of the Ouija board in the motel room, I just assumed that this was going to be heavy paranormal, but they actually didn't have any equipment. Spoiler, I don't know if anyone's going to watch this, but obviously there's going to be spoilers here. They just did the Ouija board, and even that was a little odd. Like they weren't using two hands. It was almost like I don't know that they really necessarily knew the proper ways to use a Ouija board, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's just
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to talk shit about people's technique, but that's not the
No.
way that I know of to use a board. Again, that doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but they didn't have any paranormal equipment basically. So it really wasn't necessarily paranormal until the last minute, which actually was super weird. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. I'm glad that he said that there was no one staying on either side of him because
Yes.
he recorded in the middle of the night. He said it had happened a few nights in a row and he finally caught it. There were a ton of noises in the bathroom. And so when they got to that part and he started recording, I was just anticipating it just being like a knock or something, but it was actually a lot of different types of noises too. At one point, it sounded like, you know, when you turn on a faucet and it squeaks, it sounded like that. And then there were a bunch of different kinds of noises, almost like shuffling, banging, like a bunch of different stuff. So the last minute was paranormal and interesting.
Definitely sounded like someone was in there maybe getting ready to go to bed or getting ready for their day or something for sure.
Yeah, I thought so too. I don't know. I I just assumed that it was an actual paranormal investigation, which it wasn't.
Yeah, which I mean, of course, by the thumbnail, you would think that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fine though. It's fine.
Yeah, so the beginning is more factual and he goes
Hmm.
to different locations, which is actually really cool.
Right. It is.
All right. Well, let's let's get into some of this. So, when we're talking about Aileen Wuornos, we're talking about not a great upbringing, or her upbringing. It was full of things like abuse and abandonment. She had early sexual behavior, she had early sexual abuse, but we always try to be factual. So before we get into that episode any further, or anything paranormal or whatever else we're going to talk about that documentary on YouTube, let's just go over some of the facts again about her life, which we did a little in our last episode, but let's just go over them again.
Absolutely. So Eileen was born in Michigan in 1956, and she sadly was abandoned by her mother, and her name was Diane Wuornos. And that was when she was only 4 years old. Can you imagine? She had no contact with her father, who was Leo Pittman, and he was sentenced to life in prison for actually raping a 7-year-old girl. Now, Diane, her mom, she eloped with her dad, Leo, when she was only 14 years old. And according to the 2012 autobiography, Dear Dawn, Aileen Wuornos, in her own words, they had two children during their brief marriage. And those were a son named Keith and, of course, Eileen. Now, Diane was 16 at the time, while Leo was 19 years old.
Right. I mean, her mom was so young too.
Yes. I mean, it's like a pattern.
Right, exactly. And so Leo, her Eileen's dad, he was a handyman. He was also enlisted in the military, and he did that when Diane became pregnant with Eileen. And then they separated before Eileen was born. And then Eileen had said at some point in an interview that she never had any contact with her father. Now, Leo, so her dad, his parents also abandoned him when he was an infant. He was later adopted and raised by his grandmother, so kind of a similar story.
Mm.
He went on to become a troubled teen. He married twice, he drank heavily, and in 1967, that was when he was sentenced to life in prison for the rape of that 7-year-old. And then he died by suicide 2 years later while he was incarcerated. And then in 1960, Diane, Eileen's mom, had called their babysitter that was watching her two kids to say that she wasn't coming home. And
Mm.
then that was that. And then she apparently said in an interview at some point that she should have adopted them to strangers. And this is a quote: "We in our family suffered a form of child abuse. My father was verbally abusive. My mother was verbally abusive, and we were always told we were no good." Now that's coming from her mom, even though it sounds like it could be coming from Eileen. That was a quote from her mom.
And that probably really is what should have happened. Could that have just changed everything? Who knows? Now, Keith and Aline were raised by their maternal grandparents. She described her grandmother as really clean and a decent woman who didn't drink or even swear. Though she said her grandfather was not nasty, she claimed that Lori Warnos was an alcoholic who physically and sexually abused her, and that she and Keith had had an incestuous relationship. She became pregnant when she was 13 after a friend of her grandfather's allegedly raped her as well. Family told the newspaper that no one believed her, and a police report was never filed. And there were also rumors swirling around, just like in this YouTube video, that she actually had her brother's baby. In 1972, Warnos's grandmother died of cirrhosis of the liver, and her grandfather died by suicide soon after. Also, Aline had started living in the woods and became a sex worker for money when she was a young teen. Also, by the age of 11, she had already sadly begun engaging in sexual activity in school, and that would be just for cigarettes and food.
Yeah, and we always try to be factual, but we have heard some differences, like the story of whose baby it was that she was pregnant with when she was a teenager. Also, this living in the woods. We heard both that she left when her grandparents were still alive, but maybe she left after they passed away. So there are some things that there are discrepancies, and we do our
Right.
best.
Right. I mean, either way, she did live in the woods and she sadly did resort to those things. So,
Right. Which is, it doesn't really matter when she started doing it. She was a
no,
child.
no child should ever have to do that. No.
No. So, some of this is very similar information to the last episode, and we kind of talked a little bit about early development and what that does to a person and
Mm.
kind of how much a person can take before they snap. I
Yeah.
The biggest thing I think with this story that resonates with me is all of the guys that she did sex work with that she didn't harm. And then the guy in that previous episode where he was like, "Oh, I had all this money and all this stuff,
Yes.
and she didn't do anything to me." So
Right.
I feel like that's something to me that probably stands out the most is there were a lot of guys that she didn't do anything to.
Well, think of it this way. If their encounters and engagement hadn't have been in that kind of light, how many other men do you think would have came forward and said,
Exactly.
"No, I've had transactions with her. It was fine. I'm still here. Nothing happened." That's a possibility to look at as well because let's be honest, most men aren't wanting to admit
No.
that because more than likely they're married, have girlfriends, or some kind of life where that's not acceptable to be a part of it.
Yeah, so you can't expect that you're going to get a bunch of guys to come forward and say she didn't do this.
No. No, I'm surprised the one did.
Yeah. Yeah, agree. Because it's taboo, you know?
Yeah. Just not something that a lot of people want to admit.
Right. So, okay, this documentary. And I will say this person on YouTube has a lot of followers, and I have not watched any of their other videos. So,
No.
I'm not familiar with their style. I'm not familiar with their script writing or like any of their other content. Like, I don't even know if he does other true crime content. I really don't know anything about him other than he has a lot of followers. So, I think diving into this without watching anything else maybe taints my view a little bit.
It's a little bit unfair too.
Yeah, totally. Totally. But listen, he went to locations. That was great. I thought it was so weird because at the last resort, which is where they picked her up, the
Mhm.
police, they have like all these weird trailers in the back, and they said that she would sleep there.
In
And
the
there were
coffin?
in the coffin, there were like abandoned coffins in the back, and she would sleep in one of those sometimes. But they have a whole like monument to her there, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. I couldn't like gauge if it was exploitation or
Love.
supportive. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know still.
I agree with you. But yeah, I mean, if it was out of love and support because that's a place that she frequented, then I think that's great. But I will say, like you said, the places that we were taken and the things we did get to see, I do now want to go stay in room number 7,
I
which used
know.
to be 8. So
Me,
they do explain that as well.
me too. That was the only thing I could think of when he initially got to the motel, which has changed names. I think it's called
Mhm.
Scoot now, Scoot Inn, maybe. It has changed. So, and it changed room numbers as well, like Amy just said. But that was immediately, I'm like, oh, I want to go stay there.
Yes. I couldn't find any information on how much it is to book without calling them, and I didn't call them, but believe me, I did look into it.
Oh, they don't have a website.
You got to call.
That's funny.
But
And
the reason why they lost the room when she was there and was arrested, she was in room 8, is because since the husband and wife have moved in, taken it over, and cleaned it up, which, yeah, you still have the same tub and some of the furniture that was there when she was there, but the place is cleaner. It looks nice. They said it was pretty run down then, didn't they? Yeah. So they've done a pretty good job with it, but they took over the first 2 rooms, which kind of pushed it down a little bit and changed that room to be now room 7. And I don't blame them for taking over the first 2 because they live there now.
yeah, the one thing that I really was impressed with was the guy who did the documentary. His name is Dan. When he went into the bathroom, you could tell that he really felt and appreciated the fact that everything in the bathroom was still the same. And he was like touching all the handles and
Hmm.
just taking it all in and like realizing that that's where Aileen Wuornos lived. And I believe that's where she lived with Tyria Moore. But he was, you could tell, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but you could tell he was definitely connecting with the fact that
Hmm.
he was in the place that she stayed and some of the furniture was the same. And yeah.
Yes, Don, Dan, he actually acted like we would have when we walk into a location like that. Like just the appreciation that, oh wow, all this is still the same and I can still like even in a sense put yourself in that situation when she was arrested because it's all still the way it is. And that's perfect for what we would like to do. We would do a real investigation.
I know I was thinking in my head while he was saying all these things and just being like connecting with the bathroom, I was thinking in my head, I was thinking, I wonder if she went there after these 7 murders and took a shower in that tub.
I thought that as well too. Could that, since it was the same time every night, I'm assuming a lot of her dealings were done at night and she was finishing up and coming home. So could it, or not necessarily night, but in the afternoon, then she'd finish up at night and come on home. Could that be just residual from her coming home every night and all of the heaviness that she would pack in that door with her from what had happened, or not even if anything had happened, just what she had had to do that night to survive. That's a lot to carry in one location, one little small bedroom and bathroom area. It's a lot. And for that to still have everything, or not everything, but almost everything that she still was using, even probably the shower head, that shower head looked like it was old.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say it was a newer one, would you?
No, I'm sure that was the same one,
Well, for that hotel, I would, definitely suggest change the rest of them except that one.
right? Leave that whole room as it is.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think he said the bed frame is still the same
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah. And that little wicker, the dresser, the same.
Yep. The
So,
mirror, I think he said as well, and the
and
lamps.
light fixtures, yes.
Mhm. So just going off of what you just said, I mean, even if we take the murders out, just the energy of her
Yes.
life in general is so intense. And then she shared that room with Tyria, which supposedly was the best time of her life and
Mhm.
the best relationship that she had. So there's a huge mix of emotions that live in that room, I'm sure.
A lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of tears, a lot of fear, but I'm going to guarantee a lot of love too. So all of that is soaked into all of those items that are still in there. Yeah.
And the owner seemed to, so he did say that when his wife was like, "Hey, we're buying this motel, there was this serial killer that lived here." He didn't really know the story or anything like that. He obviously does now,
Really?
but
Like,
he seemed really into the whole session that they did with the Ouija board. He was
yeah.
actually in the room participating and he was asking questions. So, listen, he might. I just got the feeling that they will leave that room alone as is,
And I mean, you go ahead. You've already done it for this long. Well, why not? If you
right?
need to replace something, replace it. But the way it is now, yeah, let's leave it because you got people like Don and I that would not mind to come and stay a bit.
I know now I want to dig farther because I find it impossible that no paranormal team has stayed in that room before.
Maybe they haven't thought about it.
I don't know, but now I want to dig and see if I can find a genuine investigation.
That maybe, I mean, yeah, maybe we just didn't, or you didn't dig enough, but I don't, maybe they didn't think about it. I don't know.
I don't know either. And I don't know when this was filmed, so maybe it
I
was
didn't pay attention to
recent.
that either. So,
Yeah, we gotta either us or get somebody in that room. I need to know.
that does bring up, I have one. It's probably been enough time that we can probably go. It wasn't serial killer, but it's a pretty big case that everybody knows of. So we're probably going to hit it up in Indiana sometime this year. It's at a motel, about like
Yes.
that one.
Yes.
Nobody died in there or anything, but they too were arrested outside after. I'll update you, but I'm not going to do it on here just yet. Y'all are going to have to hang with us to wait and see.
Follow the paranormal couple on Facebook.
Come hang with us.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe no one's investigated. So I'm gonna dig. I don't know.
I think it's
It's
worth a
fo-
shot.
it's too far. Florida's so far.
I mean, and also, you know that this is one that I did request us do. So I am not opposed to watching another one if you find it and just doing another episode.
Oh yeah, we could do a mini
Yeah,
just to
sounds good to
follow up.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Because I
look.
mean, this one wasn't what we were expecting, but that's okay because I do appreciate the fact that we were taken to some of the places she would go, some of the places that you normally don't get to see, or if you even were in that town, might even not know where they are. So I did appreciate that for sure. And probably my favorite thing about the whole documentary was seeing the room. I'm in love with that bathroom in the yellow.
Oh my
Please
gosh,
don't change that.
that bathroom is amazing.
I love the yellow. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get me a pink bathroom one day. You watch though with the old pink towel. I'm starting to love those. Like at the night house, I got the night house shirt on. I'm getting off topic. Sorry, let me get back on.
I love old bathrooms.
Hmm. Me too.
Well, okay, so if you want to watch this documentary, watch it. It
Go ahead.
Yeah, it gets a little odd in the middle, not gonna lie. Like the Ouija board part just was a little off for me. I don't know if it's because there wasn't equipment, because I thought it was going to be a paranormal investigation,
Right.
or
Right.
if it was just the owner laying across the bed while he was doing the Ouija board. It was a little odd. There was a
Yeah.
drag queen there, and Amy and I were trying to figure out if that was the owner's wife, but
I don't know. It
I'm not
might be
sure.
because I know that he does live on the. There was another lady there as well. Could have been either or his wife, but I'm not sure. I don't remember them saying who either of them were. Do you?
No, that's why I'm not sure if it
Yeah,
was his wife or not.
we
But
do know who the owner was, though.
yeah, I just thought it would have been nice since the wife was the one who found that location to purchase and
Yes.
encouraged the husband. It would have been nice to know if that was her and kind of interview her about how she found it and if she knew or if she liked the motel and then found out about the serial killer tie-in. Like, I'm just curious about that.
Well, maybe this is a possibility too. Maybe she doesn't want anything to do with the filming, and maybe those are just his friends. I mean,
Yeah.
owning a motel, imagine you're going to have a lot of different friends anyway. So or either maybe they just wanted to be in the video.
Yeah, but I just think then why couldn't you intro all of them? Like, I have no idea who those people are.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's all. Like,
All I'm asking is just who was the wife,
yeah, like,
because I would love to know more, about when she did find it for real.
right. But so the drag queen kind of ran the again, I don't want to call it an investigation, she kind of ran the night with the Ouija board,
Mhm.
had a candle, lit that. But I was curious, what's your experience? Are you a witch? Like, you know what I mean? I just kind of would have rather, I just wanted introductions. There was another girl there and another
Right.
guy there. And I'm like, who are you people?
Right. Right. No
That's all.
hate toward anybody, just wondering who they were.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe Dan didn't know.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know.
if you're doing a documentary, wouldn't you want to ask?
Well, I mean, also, that town seems pretty fun and outgoing. So I don't think that it would be out of question for someone just to kind of tag along real quick without you realizing, if
Amy
that makes sense.
Amy called it fun and outgoing, but at one point I was watching and I thought to myself, this is like Children of the Corn. These people are different.
They're fun and outgoing,
Okay. We'll go with that.
if you want me to say.
That's what we'll go with.
But you get what I'm saying. It wouldn't be shocking if one of them just tagged along and you had no idea till it was too late, you know?
I guess.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just giving all the benefits of the doubt here.
That's a good point. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it was interesting. So we got like 5 minutes left on this Zoom for YouTube.
Go watch it. Go watch it. And at least go, because he does or is able to take you to some locations that she did frequent, and you kind of get a little bit of better understanding of what kind of environment she was in as well. Also, you can get a little bit of the history of her in the get go. So
Yeah, for sure. I
I,
mean,
I
we're
do.
never,
I just said that, and then I realized how important that was. That you can watch that and kind of get an idea of the kind of environment that she was in as well.
yeah,
I think that makes it, and I'm not saying it's a bad place, but you can tell that you have people sleeping in coffins, and maybe it's just not as safe and quiet place as where some of us live. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. And
I'm not talking bad about them at all, so I don't want anybody to think that.
no, I don't know that we'll ever tell you not to watch something. Everyone
No,
should watch everything just to like get their own opinion, you know?
yeah. I mean, I think just for those, it's worth watching. But don't watch it expecting to get a paranormal investigation.
No, exactly, which
Right.
is what we were faced with.
We were bamboozled.
It's that thumbnail with the Ouija board.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
okay. It's fine. I think that it is important that we kind of did it though, because maybe a documentary or somebody else just covering it wouldn't have, like I said, I'm still digging on the went to those places. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Okay. So let's do regular rating, ADHD rating. You can, I think I went first last time, so you can go.
My ADHD rating is not very high. I text on probably after the Ouija board session, if I can speak right. And I was already looking at my phone, playing a game, talking to Shannon. So I'm probably going to give it a 5 because there was times when I could, and there was times when there was just no possible way that I could get at that point sit down to watch it. Now for my overall rating, I'm going to go. I'll give it a 7. Because I did like the extra views into parts of her life that I might not known had existed, like the places. So,
Okay. Mine is sort of opposite. So just seeing the weirdness of the whole episode mixed with how cool I thought it was to have this motel room with all of this original stuff in it, mixed with the different locations and my interest in that part of it. I actually paid attention. So my ADHD rating is 7, but my overall rating is probably going to be a 5.
see, I just really liked going to the places. That's what
Yeah.
saved it for me.
No, I know. And it's mostly based off of I would have liked a little more information. I mean, listen, there was information included
Mhm.
that I didn't find in internet research. So, you know, there was information, but that's why I'm giving it a 5. I would have just liked more. Like I said, for instance, the information on the people doing that. And I
Yeah,
thought the way the title is, it just made me think that there was going to be a paranormal investigation. That's all.
a little bit misleading. I get you. I understand. But I know we're getting close, aren't we?
Yep, we have a minute and 30 seconds. So, next up in 2 weeks, we'll meet back here for a mini-sode, which, is actually going to be interesting. I don't know. We can tell people that's fine. We're just going to do some updates on a few of our past episodes.
Yep, it'll be really interesting. Definitely get into this one, especially if you want to see where some of the cases that we've covered, what they're doing now.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Christina Page tonight, who was involved with the Return to Nature funeral home episodes that we did, the 2 parts in Colorado. So you definitely want that update. There's actually been some movement, and then a couple of the other episodes we did
Right.
also.
Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah.
This one will be a good one.
Thanks for listening. And yeah, meet back here in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.